Hello, everybody. You're watching the Mike Nelson Show. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe right now. We have over 1,000 of you who have already subscribed. I want to thank everybody for their support. Today, got a pretty cool guest. We got somebody who was on the Mike Nelson Show a couple years back. Let's welcome back Dominic Parker. How you doing today, Dominic?
I am good. I'm so happy to be back with you, Mike. It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. Dominic, you got a solo project, right? The Sympathy of all things. New album coming out, but we're going to talk a little bit about today. The single that I'm going to be playing on the radio. A few minutes right here on KQBH. Making its radio debut here in LA. So talk to me a little bit about this single, Morning Ghost.
Yeah, that song's kind of a long time coming. The chord progression was something I was playing around with probably back maybe 10 years ago now when I was in middle school. Um, and it really started to come together. I had this conversation actually with like an acquaintance a few years ago. We were talking just about, because this person was a musician as well, but I never really pursued it very much. Never like started a band, never released music, but it was a very talented guitar player. And basically, this person was just telling me that pursuing music was far too stressful, and even though it's something he would have liked to do, he didn't have the will to do it because he was so stressed out day to day. And something about that conversation stuck with me, and it kind of came out. There's a line in the song where I sing, "Remember when you had a soul? How much did you sell it off for?" Um, and I think the conversation just really struck me because it was this very real predicament that I totally understand, right? People have to choose how they're going to make their money, how they're going to make their living. It's really tough these days. But also, so many people are so talented and they feel like they're in this catch 22 where they can't do both. They have to choose one or the other. And I'm a stubborn person and I have decided to do both for as long as possible. I do work a 9 to 5. It's actually technically an 8 to 4, but also I make music, and I've probably been making more music lately than I've made ever. Even when I was in high school and was just as when I was in college, was just a student. So that line really was kind of the impetus. And then the song developed over a couple of years. I made a demo, recorded with my buddy Diego Hodge at Valley Crest Recording. Really came together a lot more in the studio, and really just tried to embrace some different stuff. There's like this deep bass synth line that's throughout the whole song. A lot of synthesizers on the lead line. Kind of trying some new stuff, very different from anything I've released with my previous project, Sound Curfew. So it's kind of a whole new chapter.
Now, talk to me a little bit about, the solo project Sympathy of all things. You mentioned to me before we started the interview that it's been a few years since you've released something. So does this project kind of go back a few years then? Like when you decided to kind of do this on your own?
Yeah, absolutely. So I did release my first solo album called Translucence. I put that out in 2020, which I don't know if you remember, was a terrible year to release
Yeah,
anything new because I had all
pandemic.
these goals about I wanted to do a tour on it. I wanted to put together a live band. I'm really proud of that album. It was my first shot really doing something mostly on my own. A lot of help from my producer, Diego Hodge, but all the songwriting was my own. All the lyricism was my own. But I never really got to do much with it. And the way the timing worked out, once things opened up again, I kind of went full steam ahead with Sound Curfew again. We did a bunch of singles and we even recorded a full length album that we released last year. That album is called Where Seldom Is Heard. But this stuff I've been working on, this next album I've been working on since 2021. Basically, as soon as that first album, Translucence, came out, I started kind of toying around with ideas and demos for this project. And yeah, Sound Curfew is taking a break right now. We haven't played or rehearsed in about over a year now. Everybody's kind of trying different stuff right now. So this window opened up to finish the album, start working on promotion, start working on the singles, and I'm putting together a tour. I'm gonna try to do it right this time. So yeah, this stuff has been kind of cooking in the background. But this year is definitely all my focus is going to this album this year.
Yeah, so this album, Margie's coming out in August, and you're gonna have some singles coming out before that. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so the first single is Morning Ghosts, which I'm so excited for your listeners to hear pretty soon here. And then in a few weeks from now, there will be another one, and kind of throughout the summer, I'll be dropping singles, and then the full album, Amarji, releases on August 1st.
Now, this you have a music video for this song. Are you gonna have more music videos for the other singles, or is this gonna
Yeah,
be the only one?
So this was really cool because, I I've toyed around with music video ideas a lot in the past. But it was kind of I think a very typical thing with independent artists where you have these lofty ideas and they never really come to fruition for one reason or another. But my goal this time around was to come up with ideas for music videos that were doable. My budget for the Morning Ghost video was all of $60. Half of that went to the ghost costume that's featured throughout. It's all shot on location, and it was all shot in like 2 hour chunks over the course of like 3 days. Just with friends, friends helping me along the way. So definitely, there's going to be videos along with the singles. I'm trying to kind of get more into the social media video side of things. I really think that's where music promotion is at these days, especially for an independent artist. So I'm trying to kind of get with the times, trying to have material available to post on all my social media platforms. I even bit the bullet and got on TikTok, which I'm
Wow.
still doing.
You're
Yeah.
really gonna take the social media stuff more like you're gonna take it more serious or really work on it then this year, you
Yeah,
think?
absolutely. I've been trying my best. I've been reading a lot about kind of, best practices. I have like a posting schedule I'm doing my best to stick to. I think with TikTok, though, excuse me, my dogs are, hey guys, not now. Come here. Um, I have like a posting schedule, although I've heard with TikTok, you need to be posting like every single day, which is, not, I don't love being on my phone, so it's definitely a bit of a challenge for me, but I also want people to hear the music, so I'm trying to kind of just go where the people are. And these videos are going to be part of that. They're going to give me material to kind of,
So talk to me a little bit about I know you mentioned your album's coming out this year and you're gonna be working with the singles coming out. So what about in terms of like live shows and all that? What do you plan to do for the rest of the year with that?
yeah. So there is a live band in the works. Real quick, can you hear that dog? Is that
No,
coming?
it's a little bit in the background, not too much,
Okay,
not
good.
really
It's so
loud.
loud in my room, but I'm glad it's not coming through. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
run with it.
not
So
really loud, no. Yeah.
I have a live band. My producer Diego Hodge is a multi instrumentalist, so he's playing guitars, he's doing drum machines, he's doing samples, synthesizers. He's like really the maestro with the live show. But also, I recruited a couple friends of mine. They're actually a brother sister duo. They're JT Turrentine is playing the drums, and Raven Turrentine is playing the bass, and also like some guitar and whatnot. I actually our first kind of go at it was we recorded this video for the NPR Tiny Desk contest. And we all got together in Diego's studio up in Green Valley, California. And that was the first like kind of dry run of what the band looked like. A lot of the songs on the album are very electronic, but that song that we played, it's called A Little More Every Day. That song is a lot more organic and kind of more classic rock instrumentation. So it was a good first song to test out the lineup with. And yeah, they're all on board. We're right now in the early stages of planning like a small tour up the West Coast. So they're all ready to go. We're going to be rehearsing like crazy over the next few months. And then hopefully put together a really cool live show. And that'll be fun too because I'll finally have a chance to play in a full band context a lot of the material on the first album, which has really never been played as it was intended. I've done it some solo shows where I kind of make it work with a drum machine and some looping, but this will be a full band experience, which I'm really excited about.
And you think it's gonna kind of like morph into something else then? Like playing it with a band, you think?
It's entirely possible. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty open. Like we're trying to make the show as full as possible. Like we're taking a lot of samples directly from the album so that they sound, as true to the project as possible. But I think inevitably with, four creative musicians, things change and evolve as you perform and as you kind of make them your own. So I'm open to that. I think the live show is going to be something wholly unique. Definitely want people to listen to the album, but the live show should be kind of a whole other experience in a certain way.
Now, a couple years ago when you were on the show, I had you with, of course, the sound curfew. Talk to me a little bit about you guys are on hiatus then. Talk to me a little bit more about what's going on with the band and if you guys would ever get back together.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think it was kind of like your classic, um, breakdown of energy with a band. I think a lot of people who are musicians have kind of gone through this where you have these couple years of like intense energy. And we were really at it. We rehearsed every week, sometimes multiple times a week, played a lot of different shows, did a tour, recorded a full length album. But all of us were kind of at different stages in life. I was actually the youngest of the three of us. Our drummer Gus is a little bit more in his late 20s, and our bass player in like mid 20s. I was just finishing college, but the main thing that kind of slowed us down, and I take full responsibility for it. I actually had a chance to go to Washington D.C. to intern with some congressmen for about 6 months because I was a
Wow.
political major.
Wow.
Was able to get school credit for it, and it was just a massive experience and opportunity, and I had to take it. When I'm not doing music, I'm a bit of a political junkie, so it was kind of a dream come true, and I had to go take it. It was a crazy, confluence of events though, because we had just done our tour early 2023. Then a couple months later, we recorded our full length album with Alex Estrada up at Pale Moon Ranch in Juniper Hills, California. And we recorded that the week before I left. And then literally the day after we finished, like we wrapped on the album, I was flying to DC where I would be for the next 6 months. So it was like a lot of energy. We recorded this album and then we couldn't do any shows for pretty much the rest of 2023. And kind of by the time I got back, there just wasn't a ton of energy or real kind of desire to get back into it. And I really was wanting to finish up this upcoming album. Um, so for everybody, it kind of was like a time to step back. We're all on good terms, all still friends, but the band is not active right now, which obviously wasn't ideal. I wish we could have at least toured on that album because I am very proud of it. I think people should go check it out. I think it's a really cool kind of cohesive experience. But the timing just did not align very well. So there's still a possibility, in a couple years we might come back together. But right now, my energy and my focus is.
Let's a couple more questions here. So like I said, going forward, you're focusing on your solo tour, your solo project right now. And you feel like that's how it's going to be like for the next couple years or so then. You say you've written a lot of music, so do you have potentially another album in the works? With if after this album comes out, you have another album coming out?
Yeah, so I don't know what it is yet. There's definitely more material that I'm working on. I've been making some demos. Um, I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself because a lot of energy has to be focused on the live band right now and kind of getting everything. I'm a one man team essentially. Everything on my social media, all
Wow.
the video editing, like that's all me. So I'm definitely focused on promoting this album. But definitely there is an idea for at least another like an EP. That's kind of where my mind's at right now for next year because I would love to keep the momentum going. I really try to have some kind of musical release every year, so I think it might be an EP. I don't know if it'll be a full album, but also my buddy Diego and I, who's in the band, my producer, we've been talking about maybe even doing something he and I, because he's released music in the past. I love his music. We get along really well, and have some similar influences. So I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but there's going to be more after this. But 2025 is definitely the year of Amarji. Um, and I'm just really excited for people to finally start hearing some of it too.
Well, Dominic, I appreciate your time. Send me the singles as they start coming out so we could play them on the radio. And it was great talking to you today, Dominic.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much just for what you do for independent musicians.
Appreciate it,
Seriously
man.
incredible. And I'm just so excited for your listeners to hear Morning Ghosts.
Sounds good. Thanks for watching, everybody.